football team.
So on that same line of congressional investigations, obviously we previously spoke about Nancy Pelosi and her trading and disclosures through the Stock Act to where her husband was placing trades. What was that? I heard you were going to say something. Here we go.
No, I was just laughing. Yeah, you can continue. I was just laughing about that. I thought it was very funny.
So obviously we heard a lot about Nancy Pelosi placing trades, right? There was that whole Twitter account called like Pelosi Trades that interestingly enough was banned after it blew up on Reddit. Very interesting. But people were basically documenting and following Nancy Pelosi's trades, or excuse me, her husband's trades, which of course she didn't clue him in on potential legislative changes that would move the price of stocks that her husband was invested in. I mean, of course, who would have that conversation behind closed doors? But essentially, there was all this investigation going on into her background and what her husband was doing and so on and so forth. But it seems like there's been some new type of revelation going on, at least as of late, with Nancy Pelosi and potential trades that happened. And I think you definitely know a lot more about this than me. And I'm curious to hear what you got to say about this, because I know that you have a lot of stuff to say and you're very, very opinionated.
Yeah, so basically, Nancy Pelosi, she was basically committing, insider trading fraud. Put it simple, she's in Congress. She knows the legislation. She knows what's going on. She's trading stocks before earnings, and she has the best record of even professional hedge fund managers that I ever seen, let alone a congressperson who's uneducated on finance and the financial system, doesn't have access to basically trade flow information, doesn't buy press articles, doesn't buy other basically advantages that hedge funds buy, and she's basically beating out people who have severe advantages. So that's a little bit suspicious to say the least. But besides the insider trading stuff for Nancy Pelosi, I wanted to actually talk about something else that Nancy Pelosi did. So recently, Nancy Pelosi actually got the virus. She got the virus recently. The virus that was going around for 2 years. She basically got it, and she was known for basically berating Joe Rogan when he got the virus, and Elon Musk when he got the virus. She was berating these people on I don't know where she was berating them, but she was basically berating these people, and she was saying, "Oh, they're incompetent. They're not wearing masks. They're not doing this." But then she was caught in a nail salon or a hair salon, basically, not wearing a mask, which is ridiculous and uncalled for. She's going around basically being a hypocrite towards these people, and then she doesn't do what she basically is proposing that other people do. So, basically, I consider her a clown, a bozo. She doesn't respect what she basically has no integrity. She doesn't follow what she says. She's a hypocrite, and she's just a complete asshole.
Wow, you really went off on Pelosi there, huh?
Yeah, what do you think about Pelosi? You think this is acceptable for a duly elected member of the Congressional Committee to fucking do something like this? Elected by the population of the United States of America, basically, doing something like this. I think it's uncalled for, and she should be thrown in jail along with Hillary Clinton and all those other cronies that are in the governmental power.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people, and I think it is a bipartisan issue, right? You have a bunch of these bozos that are representing both the left and the right, and they're completely clueless morons, and they really shouldn't be there to begin with, and they're really only in politics to enrich their own pocket. And I think the general public, for the most part, is pretty moderate, and they're pretty pissed about this. So you have people like Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, the good old commie, crazy Bernie Sanders, and you have the my favorite clueless bozo, Mitch McConnell, Cocaine Mitch. I don't know if I could say that word on YouTube, but I guess we'll find out. Then you have Mittens Romney, another clueless bozo. So, these are people that they're not good people. Oh, then, of course, Jeb Bush. Who could forget low energy Jeb? Another
Kelly
clueless,
Loeffler.
hapless dumbass.
Kelly Loeffler also did it too. So it's basically a double-sided issue that exists on both sides of the spectrum. But, they got it. And there's basically no incentive to stop it since the people that make the laws are basically the ones benefiting from it. So this is the problem I see with a representative democracy. And there's not enough checks and balances being put into place here. And I think certain issues should actually be voted on directly, and they should have a direct democracy for certain issues, and then a representative democracy for other issues that are more time. There's more of a time constraint to deal with them.
So how do you feel about the idea of mandatory one-term limits and sort of this was an idea that was proposed to me. So it was mandatory one-term limits, and then also the idea of having a stipend to be used towards like living expenses and various different like necessities rather than a salary. And then obviously no pension that would come from serving in Congress or any sort of government position. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think to start, the salary should be cut dramatically. There's no reason they should make. I think they make like 180 something $1,000 a year. There's no reason they should be making that much for the job that they do. I don't necessarily know if you actually want them to make that much. You want people that that want to serve their country. That they're not there for a paycheck. They're working hard, to make the country great again. And you don't want these people that are just in it for the paycheck and in it for the pension and the other financial benefits that are there. You want people that are established, had a good career, are smart, intelligent, not in it for the money. And you want people that are looking to make a change. So I think they should cut these benefits dramatically, and reallocate them towards other services, other welfare services, other things, that are more important than lining the pockets of these politicians. Nancy Pelosi, etc., and other people in governmental power. They're working. They work 4 years and then they get a pension for life, and that's just totally uncalled for. If anything, right, they should work the 4 years of governmental service, and they might not necessarily be able to work another normal job since of security threats, etc. But they should be transferred to other governmental departments, say Department of Education, fire department, police, etc., some other governmental program, and they should be forced to work 20 years like everyone else is to basically get a pension. So even if there's term limits, they should have to work 16 years in another governmental department to receive their pension.
I'm glad you bring that up because I totally agree. So someone had this whole concept of mandatory one-term limits and then kind of having people work in different areas of the government, like you said, but they also said that rather than pay someone a salary, you pay them a stipend, and the stipend is based off of not the average income for the area of which they're serving as a political figure or a public figure, but rather the median, right? Because when you look at averages are typically skewed by the highest and lowest earners, which are evenly weighted, but a median, they're actually weighted proportionately. So I think that's a very interesting concept, and I think it's a good way to take all of the excess money out of politics and to kind of remove any sort of incentive for the wrong people to go into politics. And I think another main thing that can happen is just to outright abolish lobbying and make it so that any sort of lobbying is just completely illegal. And that'll certainly stop the wrong people from going in.